soldiers told a big lie. But why?
Hi, kiddo. I'm Grandma Goody, and I'm here to tell you a Bible story. But you have to know, at the start of this story, Jesus is dead and buried. The religious leaders and the chief priests and the Pharisees, those were the people who insisted that the Romans put Jesus to death. They went to the governor, Pontius Pilate, and they said, before that liar, and they were talking about Jesus, calling him a liar when he wasn't. But anyway, they said to Pontius Pilate, Jesus, that liar, before he died, he said that on the third day, he would rise from the dead. Well, if his disciples stole his body, they could tell everybody that he rose from the dead, and that lie would be worse than the first. So we want you to command a group of Roman soldiers to guard that tomb so they make sure that Jesus' disciples do not steal his body. So Pontius Pilate said, you can have a guard of soldiers, and you go and you try to make that tomb as secure as you can. Hey, Bo, did you hear that? Pontius Pilate gave some Roman soldiers the orders that they were supposed to go to the graveyard and guard the tomb of a dead man. Can you believe that? That's the silliest thing I ever heard. So these Roman soldiers, they're given the command, go put the seal of Rome onto that tombstone so nobody can move it. That's all, Bo. That's all. Go lay down. So they went to the graveyard and followed their orders and put the seal of Rome, like they put a big marker across that stone. So if anybody moved it, all the power of Rome would punish them. Then the soldiers stayed awake and guarded that tomb. The rule was that if you were guarding a prisoner and they escaped, the soldier who was guarding that person would have to take the punishment. They didn't want to lose a dead man because they might get killed as punishment. On the morning of the third day, all of a sudden, there was a flash like lightning, and an angel appeared, and at the very same moment, there was a great earthquake. The soldiers were terrified. They saw this angel, and the angel, he rolled the stone away and sat right on top of it. The soldiers were so terrified that they were like dead men. They must have passed out cold and just were unconscious. Now, they didn't know there were some women, friends of Jesus, who had come thinking that they might be able to anoint his body with perfumes if they could get in. And the angel talked to them and told them, Jesus isn't here. He's risen from the dead, just like he said he was going to do. And he said, you go tell his disciples, tell them to go up to Galilee and he'll meet y'all up there. And so the women ran off and the soldiers didn't know what to do. So some of them ran back and they went to the chief priests right at daybreak and they told them everything just as it had happened. And so they told them all about the earthquake and the angel and the stone rolling away and hearing that Jesus was risen from the dead. Well, the chief priests, they decided to call a meeting. So they called all the elders and they got them together early in the morning and they told them what had happened. And they came up with a deceitful plan. They decided that they were going to offer a lot of money to the soldiers if they would just tell everybody that they'd fallen asleep and Jesus' disciples came in the middle of the night and they stole the body of Jesus. The soldiers thought, well, we might get in trouble. They were afraid. So the religious leader said, don't worry about that. We're in good with the governor. And if word gets back to him, we'll keep you out of trouble because we'll pay him a lot of money too. So the soldiers decided to take the money and make up this big lie and to spread it all over Jerusalem. And so they went out and they did that. They all went out spreading that lie. And to this day, there are still people who believe that that's what happened, even though it was a lie. And you remember, kiddo, Grandma Goody loves you, but God loves you more.